Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is Jenny Wise, CEO of WiseMind Soul Warrior, and I am so honored and grateful and excited to have Anita Scott on with us today. And she is one of our YTT or WiseMind Soul Warrior students and a yogi and a businesswoman. And if you want to take a chance and a moment just to introduce yourself and let us know, what brought you to WiseMind Soul Warrior, what brought you to the training.
Yeah, like Jenny said, my name's Anita, and so many reasons that I decided to connect and join WiseMind. But just to give you a little background, Jenny and I connected years ago at Bond Brothers. I took one of her yoga classes, Yoga and Beer, and it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, and it really stuck with me. I mean, Jenny's energy was amazing. During that time, I really needed some kind of like sister soul type connection. And just even through her yoga class and just the few touches that she gave me in class, I felt that connection. So reached out to Jenny, tried to find more yoga classes or other ways to connect to the yoga practice. And she introduced me to, I believe I did maybe like a 1-day how to handle stress type of seminar, and thought, okay, I found my people. Like, this is perfect. This is what I need in my life right now. And then honestly, just continuing to talk with you, Jenny, and working out different ways to keep WiseMind in my life and kind of weave it in and balance it with being, working in a professional career, being a single mom, planning for new life changes, and also at the same time dealing with some pretty heavy stuff like grief and divorce. Grief over losing my father around the same time that I was getting divorced. And so all of that together and meeting Jenny during that time, it was like a perfect storm. I can say thanks to Jenny, I am where I am right now, as far as like a good place, peace of mind, and an appreciation, respect, and a love for yoga. I know that was a long answer. I have so much more to say, but that's pretty much what had me committed to my journey with WiseMind.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too. And you and I have talked about this, and I've talked to other students about this. And I know you're a big believer in this, and I'm a big believer in this, that God in the universe brings the people together. Like, it is so much more up at this level, things that are happening, of why, like, you stepped into Bond Brothers. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. And like, just the other women that have come into this group and how I've connected with each of them differently, that has brought us to this point, right? That has brought us to like you now being in part of the training.
Right.
And I remember, when I was teaching at Bond Brothers, even though I was teaching at a brewery, I was still teaching a very emotionally, spiritually, connected type practice. And I was still teaching more of like a slow flow to yin, more of a therapeutic style, as much as I could integrate that in at a community class, and then also like more of a beginner level style. And I feel like teaching there and actually teaching at the studio and some of the larger events that I've done, like pre-COVID, has given me such a broad opportunity. Like, I taught at the community classes at Lululemon before COVID happened, like when that was going on. And it's given me like an opportunity to like really connect with people that way. And then also just bring that therapeutic type style, and at a beginner level, right, where everybody felt comfortable and they were simply just connecting to their breath and moving their body, right, with a simple flow.
Yep.
That allowed you to just, get in beyond just the physical practice, right, to connect to the mind and the heart and the spirit, and to just really ground yourself with your breath. And that has been a huge, like, driving passion of mine to continue on this journey, right, of like bringing it to more people like you.
Mm-hmm.
And even showing up, in a community class at Bond Brothers, of all places,
I know.
that if you're teaching in a certain way that people are really connecting, connecting to their self at a deeper level, that you can make, you know, one yoga class can make a change anywhere, if that makes sense.
100%. Absolutely agree
Yeah.
with that.
So tell us a little bit, and I did want to mention, thank you. Like, I'm so, so grateful, like, to be able to hold space for you. And I know that you know me, like, I'm authentic, I'm genuine. I love each and every student that we have. And I'm so grateful to be here to support you, like, through all these transformations and healing and changing. And, you know, you and I have talked about this. I've had many, many, obviously similar changes, right? I've gone through a divorce. I'm a single mom. You know, we've had similar, like, healing journeys. We both have been in corporate. You know, I've had over 15 years in corporate. So you and I have connected on a lot of levels. We're both spiritual, we're both believers. Like, so there's a lot of things that we have in common. And so I felt like we connected, like, on such a deep level. And it was such a God thing, right? Only the universe and God could, like, make all those dots come together. That again, like, you showed up in Asheville in July, and you showed up in Raleigh in May, and you were able to make it to those retreats. And, like, a whole nother conversation is the fact that we were actually even able to run those this year. Because I can tell you, when I planned all that at the beginning of last year, I was, like, holding my breath and saying prayers that there wasn't another shutdown, and I was able to continue with all the retreats that I had planned last year and all the immersions. So I'm so grateful that you all were able to be a part of that. So, so tell me, what has been your experience as far as, from a transformation perspective, what are some of the things that you've experienced in the training that has been transformative for you? Like, what are some of the tools, or maybe it's shadow work, maybe it's personal development work, maybe it's around your family of origin, maybe it's getting deeper into your meditation practice, or getting deeper into trusting your intuition, like letting go of your inner critic or perfectionism. Like, what do you feel like really, like, your inner critic voice? You know, I know we did some work in Asheville and you let some things go. What do you feel has been, like, the biggest, like, life-changing, you know, things that have really benefited you from the training?
Honestly, there are a few, but I think the biggest one is really learning to take time out during the day, or just time out for myself, because, and I'm not perfect at that. I don't always do it, but before this, it was just like, go, go, go. And I could not figure out why. I just constantly felt like I was in a hamster wheel, or, you know, it was just never ending. So I think it's about breath work. In Asheville, I've learned a lot. I feel like it really resonated and sat with me, the importance of breath work and meditation. Shadow work kind of goes into my journaling, where I'm only spending about 5 minutes, but I say only because I am also spending 5 minutes a day journaling. And I used to never even think about journaling. Like, it was just so hard for me to sit there quietly and do something that wasn't work or parenting. So the importance of journaling has really kind of helped me to be a better parent, friend, and coworker, because I'm a lot more patient. I'm a lot more confident in my abilities. I don't question myself as much. I'm still working on that, but I'm more comfortable with who I am and what I bring to the table. And I think that comes with meditation and breath work, because you are sort of forced to sit with yourself and become comfortable with yourself. And I've never really taken time out in my life to do that. And I already loved yoga, but I think I loved the aesthetic of it, to be able to say, oh, I do yoga, until I really put it into practice and made it like a non-negotiable. You and I talked about this a couple months ago, like at least giving myself an hour a week to start. And you know, once you do that and you add a little more, even if it's a 10-minute class that you find online, you start to realize you go a week without even having yoga, and it's different. It affects you. You feel it. So I wanted to get to that point for so long, and just having conversations with you, it took me, you know, to really connect with it and have that. So I think that that's also a big part that I took away with me. But I think those are my biggest takeaways, are the most important takeaways that I've introduced into my life that's made it a lot better.
Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful, because I know you know this, like, I'm just telling my story and speaking my truth of what has worked for me. And I know I've seen the transformation in my own life. And so that's why I can speak from my own testimony of using yoga as a tool for transformation, but also as a tool for mental wellness,
Mm-hmm.
and as a tool for what we call a sadhana self-care practice, which is for stress resilience and for emotional resilience. And it gives us that practice and that quiet time that we can have on a regular basis, right? That combination of moving your body and having the stillness in your mind and having the stillness of your heart and your soul to take, even if it's 5 to 15 minutes, right? If that's all you have in the entire day, and you take 5 minutes of prayer meditation and that's all you do, that will make a huge difference in your entire day, just in that little bit of time. And so you've heard me talk about this, and I know I'll talk about it again, that there's just this big misconception about what yoga is. And that there's really 3 pillars, right? There's the physical asana practice, which is what most of the Western world knows yoga as, and people doing, crazy poses on Instagram and headstands and all that kind of stuff. And then there's meditation, which is huge. And then there's breath work, right? So a lot of times, as you know, that kind of breath work and meditation piece gets kind of put to the wayside. And oftentimes, until you get deeper into your practice, do you really start to explore breath work and meditation, right? So it's kind of like usually people start with more of an asana physical practice, right, and then eventually it gets deeper where you're wanting to learn more about meditation or breath work. And so I love to hear that you're actually starting to get into the meditation and the breath work, and that you're starting to create a sadhana practice, like your own self-care practice, and knowing the importance of a pause, right? To just be still, and that we don't have to be, like you said, running around,
right?
The syndrome, right? The mindfulness foundation of non-striving, right? Of non-doing, to just be. And I remember the first time I heard that phrase over 10 years ago, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was mind-blowing, right? Because you and I can relate to this, coming from a recovering perfectionist, from an overachiever, from a busy syndrome, stress habit, addicted to being stressed all the time. My body just wanted to be in fight or flight all the time. And to go from that to who I am now, it's like night and day, 180 degrees, like the calmest I've been my whole life. And so I'm here to share that, you can be calm in the chaos. You can have a legacy of peace. You can change the thought patterns of loving yourself. And you've shared that too, of you can change how you feel about yourself just from these practices. And definitely journaling, like you said, is a huge part of this. And it's definitely a huge yoga psychology, yoga therapy technique. And it's effective. So I know you know this, but I'm sharing that with everybody else just to reiterate that there's all these different modalities and pieces and techniques that we're blending together for people, right? Absolutely. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your experience with kind of the format of how we run the training, as far as the retreats and the group coaching and getting to the learning management system, and going through the syllabus or the manual, or just kind of share what your experience has been with that so far.
So I'll start with the retreat, because that was my first time attending a yoga retreat, or really a retreat of that sort of any kind. And so that was a really amazing weekend. We spent the weekend in Asheville in July, which was a great time of year. Great group of women, aspiring yoga teachers, but also just women who are individuals who are looking for ways to integrate that practice into their life just to make it better, and find healthier ways to cope and get through everyday stressors. And it was really amazing to be in the same company of like-minded people who were going through similar issues or who had similar goals, and who were all connected to the idea of yoga being able to help them out of that. And it was awesome to be able to, I'm a vegetarian myself, so to be able to go to a retreat where it was plant-based was really amazing. All of the food was just so delicious, and it just kind of went along with the mindset that we were in. It was really healthy, organic, light food, warm, comforting soups. And we would start our day with meditation and yoga, and not just like 10 or 15 minutes. It was like we had a 90-minute practice of breath work and yoga, and just like connecting with ourselves. And then starting the day like that just kind of set the tone each day, and taking time uninterrupted to be able to just reflect and journal and learn and experience different scents and feelings and hear other people's experiences. It was a beautiful weekend. And it was also a tough weekend because haven't been used to sharing space with others. But by the end of the weekend, we were all so sad. We were not ready to go. We wanted another day. You know, so that part. And then sometimes at night, you know, you want like a dessert or something, but not having that afterwards, I was like, wow, I really like got through that and just focused on what I really needed in life. And then one of the best parts was learning about Ayurveda and learning how to incorporate that into your lifestyle, and different ways you can add healthy benefits through just like herbs and vitamins and natural cures and natural medicines and healing. And that was a big part of the program for me, for the experience, was being able to have that weekend with the other students. And then also we still stay pretty connected virtually. We have our Wednesday check-ins, which are really like our group time, and Jenny's always giving us great information. We also have the Thursday nights that we had scheduled. I haven't been able to make those, but you have the option of the Wednesdays and Thursdays, which works pretty much for everyone's schedule. You have one during the day and one in the evening. So those have been helpful. And then just the accessing the LMS and the online content, you know, you have your choice. If you're a virtual learner, everything is outlined for you. You can access it by module. You can go back to review it if you'd like. You can move through them all if you'd like, and then go back and review. You can also print them out and organize different binders for each module if that's a better way of staying organized and learning for you. That's something that I've considered doing. But it's a foolproof way of, you know, learning about the psychology of yoga and, you know, either using it to become a yoga teacher or really just using it to help yourself and share the knowledge to friends and family. You can't fail at it. And for someone like me who's super busy, who will give you an excuse of an excuse, like I found a way to incorporate it. So you cannot fail at it.
Oh my gosh. I'm laughing because like all the conversations that we've had and all like the lifting up I've done, right, of encouraging you.
Yes.
Because I knew, and again, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, and like trying not to get emotional, because I could, like, I'm sitting here listening to you, right? And I'm like, and I'm going, she needs this. Like, oh my gosh, like, you know, and just like feeling it, you know, and knowing it. And so I was so glad that you took the leap, and I knew that this was going to help you. So I'm so glad that you took the leap and that you're here.
Thank you for sticking with me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like I said, I mean, we were like mirroring each other, you know, like the things, and you describing, and then me going, oh my gosh, like this is so going to help her, like in so many ways. And you know this because this work that we do is a lifelong journey, right? The inner work that you do will be a lifetime. And the healing process is not linear, right? It goes kind of like in a circle and all over. It's not like you check a box and you go done, you know, in a linear process. Healing comes as it flows, and as things come up that you're ready to heal and you're ready to release and transform, and until you're ready. But then there's the piece of it that's, you know, the hashtag ready is a lie, because we're never 100% ready for anything, because the ego will tell us that we're not, right? The ego will say, and the resistance will say, you're not ready, because the brain's job is to keep us safe. right? The brain's job is to keep us in our comfort zone, but there is no growth or healing without going outside your comfort zone. And so that's what the yoga and the journaling and the meditation and the breath work and the prayer, that's what all those things allow you to do, is you're going outside your comfort zone. So you can release and you can detox, and then you can fully heal and you can move forward. Tell us about a little bit, with what you want to share, a little bit about the fire transformation that we did and what that was like for you.
That was really amazing. I've always read about these type of experiences and ceremonies, or even just seen them in movies, and always have been drawn to it, thinking that looks like an amazing experience, just sort of cleansing out the bad. And the common theme throughout the weekend was really kind of focusing on, behaviors or parts of us that we wanted to let go of. And so I had already kind of been thinking about, and we knew we were going to have to write a letter, kind of letting go of those feelings and why, and how we plan to incorporate positive feelings is sort of what I got from it. And so I had already been in the weekend thinking, what was I going to let go of? This is my opportunity, because you can do it at home by yourself, and it's a great feeling and a great experience. But when you're with like-minded people, and we've got the fire going, and we're outside, and everyone's spent a weekend thinking about their letter, that was a very strong moment. So we were given a couple hours to disperse and kind of spread out and find a spot that was right for us to be able to write our letters to each other. And then we had the option to read it out loud. And surprisingly, we all read our letters out loud. And I do not like to speak in front of groups. I mean, right now I'm very comfortable because the group is me. Right. And so I can't see anyone, but just even being in the small group, I think we might have had maybe 12 or 15, I don't know. But I was so nervous. And then to be able to have to share your most vulnerable parts of you, but you get to a point where you're ready to let go of that so much that and the other people with you, you feel so much support from them that it just feels right. And so my letter focused on letting go of feelings like anger and resentment, sort of holding on to negative experiences that I had been through and feeling like I had been wronged, or that person hadn't apologized to me, or maybe I hadn't gotten to say one last goodbye before that person passed away. And so I was sort of holding on to these negative feelings, and I was able to let them all out. And it was pretty emotional because I could feel my voice changing at certain parts of the letter and with certain words, like when I let go of anger, resentment, and self-doubt, self-criticism, and all of that. And it felt like I was really just getting it out and saying, okay, this is going to be day one of letting all that go and forgetting it and moving forward with the positive. And an amazing moment. I have pictures. I still look back at the pictures.
I know. And I'm going to post, I need to post some of those pictures too.
Yeah.
We posted some this summer, and I'll definitely post some more. Because we have some pictures of me praying with you, because it's really interesting too, because I was so proud. I can't even put words to it, of I was so proud of each and every one of you, and how everybody stepped up. Like you said, every single person read their letter, and every single person burned it, and burned it in the fire transformation. And I can't remember off the top of my head who even went first. I don't know. Do you remember?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember who went first. I wish I could remember that.
Also, it was raining, so it was the perfect, it was beautiful.
I would say, Cammie, let us know if you can remember who went first, because Cammie's on here too. And just the whole thing. I wish I had my sword here. The sword that we used to.
Yes, that was
way, claiming it.
That was
claim letting it go. And that was so powerful. And then also anointing you guys. I actually anointed you guys.
I think that's the part that made me the most emotional.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I mean, I kind of had an idea. I had an idea of the anointing. I had the idea. I want you guys to do to claim it, that you're letting it go. to let go, burn the letter. I had an idea in my mind of like how the ceremony was going to go. And I had done like anointing with graduation ceremonies. Like when we did our 200 training, every one of those, each of those trainees were anointed. And we would put oil on their forehead, on their hands, we'd start on their feet, their hands, their forehead, and then I would like place my hand on their heart. And it just like one of those things that organically, intuitively just happened. And then like when I was praying with you guys, like I was praying over you guys, like it just like, you want to call it like the Holy Spirit, you want to call it, intuition, the spirit, whatever it was, it was there that day. When we did that ceremony. And because I remember afterwards, like I was like so tired.
We were all crying, and remember,
drained because I was putting my hands on everybody, and I was almost like I was doing like Reiki in some ways. I don't know how to describe it because I was putting hands on everyone the whole time. I was always touching them, like putting my hand on their back, or I was like, like leaning down with you, like when we were at and again, that was all like just intuitively. I was just like there with you guys and like just pouring that love, that unconditional love into you guys. And I'm so grateful that I was able to be a vessel and a guide for you guys, because that's what I was. I was a vessel of spirit and God, and I was a guide. That's all it was, right? It was that I am grateful that I've done the work, that I was open enough, right, to be able to let that flow and then let it flow into you, because if I wouldn't have done the healing work that I've done, that my heart chakra and my soul and all that was not as open as it is, and released the things I have, I couldn't be a vessel like that for you guys. If that makes sense.
Yes.
And so I'm so honored, really, and grateful too, because it was as powerful for me as it was for each and every one of you, for me to witness you guys, to be there and hold space and witness like each and every one of you. I was so proud of you guys. Like I can't even put words to that. Like
it was amazing.
What that was like on my end, watching each of you.
Right.
Without me getting emotional.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and we did have the happy moment afterwards where we had fudge together and bonded. Yes. So that was awesome.
We did.
Let's throw that in there.
We did. And that was so much fun. And Ramesh is amazing. He's a guest teacher, and he will be teaching for us actually in February. He's going to be teaching about Tantra yoga in February, and he will still be, part of the program this year. And I'm so grateful for my connection with Ramesh and the Prana Institute, and my experience with the whole healing and detoxing and plant-based healing modalities. As I've shared, he helped me with getting my mind and body back on track in 2020. When I was really struggling with brain fog and achy joints and chronic fatigue, and I had to do something really serious to get myself back on track. And so I did 30 days of juicing and cleansing. And I'm so grateful for that experience, because that was one of the many things that brought us to Asheville last summer.
Right.
Right. So again, it's another universe, right? Another universe thing that put all this together.
Yes.
Okay, so so one last piece. So tell everyone like your experience when you and I were connecting, when we first started talking about the yoga teacher training, WiseMind Soul Warrior. We did a consultation, right? I always offer a free consultation because people always have questions. They, we want to make sure it's a good fit. We're a good fit. They're in a space of, ready to change and ready to do this work. And what questions they have for me, and just making sure it's all a good fit. So if you can kind of share your experience with what that was like with meeting with me, with the group, that would be amazing.
Yes. I felt like that was my chance to just kind of ask everything before committing. Really just to kind of be in a safe space and be candid about what can I expect from the program and what will be expected of me in order to get the benefit. Because I knew it wasn't something that I could just sign up for and kind of skim through. And so I needed to be realistic about like, well, how much time will I have to commit, and are there expectations? And so I felt like you were extremely clear during that call, and I had the space and the time to be able to ask all the questions that I had. I mean, I wanted to know everything as far as like, would I be able to afford this? And the answer is yes, because I'm here. Would I be able to fit this into my schedule, working full time and also being a single mom to 2 teenagers who are very active? And Jenny was able to just kind of break it down and let me know, different life experiences or situations of other people in the group who are successful at it. And so hearing that and being able to relate and just being able to put that out there to her and let her know that that's the situation that I'm in made me very comfortable. And then just kind of asking questions about what kind of things can I expect? Will we connect on a daily basis, or will I have sort of like a partner, or will we go on trips? And I have felt like I had all of that information up front. I mean, we even had text messages afterwards because I had questions, and Jenny was, gracious enough to go ahead and answer them for me even after our consultation. So, I mean, I feel like that is the most important step before you commit, because it's a very open and honest conversation where you're able to get any information you need if there's any hesitation before joining the program.
Well, thank you. And me, obviously, but not everybody else out there knows me, that it's going to be like just a conversation about, tell me where you are now, tell me where you want to go, what are you struggling with? Could this be a good program for you to get you to the next level of healing and to work through letting go these patterns that aren't serving you anymore? And that's pretty much in a nutshell. And and if the person's ready, if they're really wanting to change, they're wanting to do this deep inner work, whether they want to be a yoga teacher or not, right? You don't have to want to be a yoga teacher of any kind. This training is just as, like you shared, just as much for personal development and healing and going through the yoga psychology as learning it as part of living your life. And learning stress resilience and emotional resilience, I think, is two of the biggest things. Or whether you decide to teach or not, right? Or there's going to be some folks that they decide to teach at some point, but it might be breath work or meditation or mindfulness or yoga psychology or stress resilience or emotional resilience skills, right? There's so many different things from the training that you can teach that is beyond just teaching a physical yoga practice, right?
Yes.
So, and whether you are, again, a corporate person like Anita who works full time, whether you're a single mom, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, or you're a yoga teacher now who's looking to get your 300 certification, we've got a mix of all different, right? We've got yoga teachers and we've got wellness coaches and we've got full-time corporate women like Anita and others, and a mix all in between.
Right.
And I will say too that some women in the group are moms, some women are not, some are single, some are married. There's a mix of different, some like you and I have gone through a divorce. There's others in the group too. And it's interesting too, because we have this mix, but we all have these certain things in common, right? Of like wanting to do this healing work and wanting to let go of the things that aren't serving us anymore and really be able to heal, right? I mean, that's really the bottom line. So
yeah,
I feel like that's what we all have in common. And whether you're letting go of the perfectionist, you're letting go of the overachiever, you're letting go of the taskmaster inner critic voice, I don't do enough, the busy syndrome, the stress habit, the inner mean girl, if that's your thing, I'm not enough.
Right. Yeah.
The imposter syndrome, who do you think you are?
Right.
And like you shared, it could be struggling with emotions. Like we talk a lot about emotional reactivity and teaching yourself to be grounded and to be in wise mind instead of emotion mind, right? So you've heard me talk about this. Emotion mind is when we get too far into anger or sadness, where we're going to say and do things when we're in emotion mind that we wish we're going to regret.
Yeah.
So being able to pause between stimulus and response, and that's a lot of what meditation and yoga, breathwork helps you do. And so it affects, like you said, everything in your life, your relationships,
Yep.
If you're a mom, having patience, like you shared, having patience as a mom, um, in your business, in your career, it affects all areas of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to me, the biggest part is using those skills off the mat. That's where the work really is when you step off the mat and you use those skills in your everyday life. Right?
Yes.
That's really what we're about, is teaching you guys to have these skills. Like, you're your own best yoga teacher, your own best coach, your own best therapist, that you know your mind and body and your breath awareness and what you need on any given day. So that's really about, like, the sadhana self-care practice is you learn, what do I need today? Do I need to do more journaling today? Do I need to do a yin practice where I'm just going to sit? Do I need to do more of a flow? Do I need to go outside and walk today? Do I need a little bit more meditation? Maybe I need a little prayer. Maybe I need some time with God this morning. Yep. You know, like, whatever that thing is that your mind, body, and soul is calling for, and then be able to really listen to that and then take aligned action to do it, to give yourself those things that you need, especially during this time, during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
We all need more self-care. We all need, like, to be more gentle with ourselves and to be what we call mindful self-compassion, and learn to be gentle with yourself and more kind to yourself. That is a huge part of what we want to teach you guys, because too many of us beat ourselves up and self-sabotage and inner critic, and
there's already so much going on.
Oh yeah, we don't need to be adding any more than what the mind naturally does, right? The negative bias in our mind already does.
Right.
You definitely don't need to add to any of that. So I want to be able to teach everyone to be calm in the chaos, to have a legacy of peace, and to do this intergenerational healing that's going to make a difference now, and it'll make a difference in your kids' lives, for those of you that are moms, and future generations. It's like every single one of us that does this healing work, we are attributing to healing the world, one person at a time. One meditation, one prayer, one breath work, one yoga practice at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
That is what we're doing. Right. And so this is important work. It is important work. Mm-hmm. And you know, I'm super passionate about it. I could talk about it all day.
I could too. Yes.
And I know you're passionate about it. And I know you care about, you know, the practice, and I can't wait to see what you do with all of this. You know, like us talking 6 months from now, a year from now.
Yeah.
I know you're going to do amazing stuff, and I cannot wait to see how you use it and how you may end up helping other people with it as well. Yeah. I can't wait to see how each and every one of you use the training also, because you each are going through your own transformation, right? And your own healing and your own journey, because everybody has a unique journey. So I just can't wait to hear how you continue to use your story, you know, and your uniqueness, and how you're going to share that, because I know as you continue to heal, things will start to open up.
Yes. And I'm already starting to feel that. So I'm excited to just keep it going and see, you know, what the future looks like. I've made plans and I have ideas, but I just want to kind of go with it and see where the practice and the learning takes me, because it's such a good place to be in.
Yeah. And I am, again, so proud of you and each and every person in this training, to just sit back and watch you all, because it's such an honor to sit back and be watching, observing all of you. And the fact that you're getting remarried.
Yes. Very excited.
Yeah. And the fact that, you know, all these things are happening for you. And I hope that we'll be able to do, you know, the retreat I'm looking to set up in Lake Junaska, if I'm saying that correctly. It's actually a Christian-based retreat center that's in Asheville. And so we're going to be offering one retreat in the spring there. We'll offer a pop-up in Raleigh, and then we'll offer the Prana Institute will be in the fall. So students will have a choice between which retreat that they want to attend this year. And so I'm really excited about that, to see.
I'm excited.
And who kind of goes which direction with the different retreats. And yeah, I'm super excited. So I'm going to get into teaching about the Heal, Detox, Transform method. So we can talk a little bit more about that. Do you have anything else that you want to share before I let you kind of jump off?
No, I just, thank you for having me and letting me share my experience and a little bit about my story. And I'll just end with, if anyone is considering beginning this journey, you deserve it and you are worthy of it. And it is your time. I mean, there is no time like right now, and you can make it happen. Things will fall into place. Like, do it. Do it.
Well, one last time, just a quick snippet, like a 1 minute thing. Can you just share one more time about your experience, a short snippet of working with me, the consultation that we did?
Yes, just the experience of like what that was like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just
Short.
it was a very open, honest experience. I felt like that was a safe place, an open space for me to kind of ask whatever questions I had, any hesitations that I had, and mostly get information about what would be expected of the program, of me, and what I could expect out of the program. Um, and really just to kind of think about what I wanted to take away from this and how important this was going to be, like how much of an emphasis and importance was I going to be able to place on this to make it really work out for me. And that consultation really answered all of those questions and really eased my mind about whether this was right for me.
Mm-hmm. Girl, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful for you taking the time and being brave to get on with me like this. Like that,
Absolutely.
you're taking a step into showing up and like
Yeah.
being a leader, that you're willing to do this with me. I'm so, so grateful because I know you're busy.
Thank you.
I honor you. I appreciate your time. Time is a finite resource. And so again, I'm so grateful for you to get on here and share your experience for me, and your experience in the training, the experience with the other women, and what it's been like for you. I'm so, so grateful for you to take the time to get on here with us.
And thank you for having me. Thank you for thinking of me and letting me be part of this. I'm excited, and I'm happy I was able to be part of it today. So thank you.